this, but front page story in the New York Times, Washington Post, I'm sorry, which you just brought in. This link between, which most people might not see at first, between areas of high unemployment and areas of obesity in this country.
An amazing thing.
What's the
researchers are apparently just beginning to pay close attention to. There's a correlation between high rates of obesity and unemployment in counties across America. In the Washington Post's Michael Rosenwald had a great story on this yesterday, in which he just explored the link. It's not that fat people are getting laid off. It explores the reasons your health deteriorates after you lose your job, because there's defeat, and then there's depression, and then there's, in some cases, a lack of will to exercise, and because the only way to get a job is to sit at a computer and fling resumes off. I mean, if you pound the pavement and knock on doors, they'll tell you to get lost and file your application online. So you become chained to a computer when you are laid off, and apparently there's a clear correlation between obesity and unemployment, and that doesn't help you get a new job. For instance, Rosenwald explores the trucking industry, which is something job counselors refer blue-collar workers to if they were, lost their jobs to overseas workers or automation. And if you can't pass a physical, you actually cannot be a truck driver, apparently. So this is very interesting.
Isn't there also another factor that in here, which is poverty? I mean, I was just reading an article the other day about, all this locavore stuff, and we're eating well, and we're and organic and everything. Yeah, if you can afford it, right?
Yeah,
you can buy.
If you can afford the bone marrow dinner, and other gross stuff that locavores like, and your kale, that stuff is disgusting.
But in the meantime, the poor are.
I like kale.
Michelle Obama unironically tells people to eat kale.
I had kale for dinner last night. Kale is delicious.
What kind of kale did you eat for dinner? Like kale chips?
I made kale chips.
How can that be a meal?
Well, it's a side dish.
No, it's a side dish. How do we get off on kale? My point.
I just had to get a dig in against kale. It's seaweed. It's flotsam, or is it jetsam? It doesn't taste good, guys. I'm against it. Right. Anyway.
Yes. Back to right. Okay. My point was that the poor families are, they're condemned to the fast food. That's all they can afford. I mean, right?
Yes, researchers had been aware for a long time of correlations between
poverty and obesity.
However, it's more complicated.
So the unemployment, I'm saying, we shouldn't be surprised that unemployment fits in there as well.
Interesting thing about poverty and obesity, it's not as simple as poor people are more likely to be obese. The research that I've seen, it holds that poor women are more likely to be obese, but poor men are not. And that is, I think, that I was surprised to learn that that middle-income men are actually more likely to be heavier than their low-income counterparts.
Haven't seen that.